All right. Bum ba, bum ba, bum ba. Here we are, listening to some scary music. Alrighty, I think we're all good here. Okay, I'm gonna turn on my little camera here. Green on. All right, y'all. It's me. So you can see we got the head cam on, so that's good. So I'm gonna get over there and I'm gonna start doing some throwing stuff. Not too much. I wedged up some of the failures from yesterday. You know, I posted the video yesterday of me ripping open the pot, right? And so I have all that re-wedged and I'm gonna be throwing with that today. And I'm gonna get right into it. There's not more else to say. So green off. Green off. There we go. Camera C. That's right.
That's right.
We got the
head camera back on, yo.
Head camera's
back online, so we're gonna have some good angles today. I think I'm just gonna get right over here. I think I could probably turn this up a little bit. I think the first song I was listening to was actually pretty lit. So now we don't have that. But anyway, right onto this bottom here. It is a little bright though. I think I need to change the brightness on my head camera one of these days. Just because right now I feel like it's just way lighter than my other cameras, right? So anyway, I'm pushing this down, and I gotta just make sure, like, sometimes this battery on the side of my head, it like digs into my head there, so that's kind of a little bit not fun. Doesn't feel good. Kind of feels like somebody's just like pinching my head.
But anyway,
I'm gonna swap over to camera B. Camera B.
There we go. How's that look? Is that on center for you guys? Looks like it could be like a little bit off. Is it like tilted over this way a little bit? Let me know. I think it should be okay though. I must have kicked it while I was doing stuff. And so this clay, I can't even hear the music. There we go. Okay, now I can really hear the music. That feels like it's good. Oh, dang. So, I got some chunks in there, whatever. I'll find them later when I'm starting to throw it. Or open up the pot, I guess. Right out to the bottom, I take that up. Get to the top. Don't be scared to put some body weight on there. Body weight's coming right on top. Shoulder and hand pushing down. And don't let it sort of get away from you. You know what I mean? So I'm really trying to make sure my left hand is pushing down or pushing against that surface there. I want it to be and act like a profile tool. I don't want it moving, so I have my body weight pressed up against that clay right there. And I'm not letting there be any gaps. It's almost like somebody duct taped my hand to the clay there, right? So I got that centered, and now I'm pushing down ever so slightly. I think I've been opening up the pots a little bit too quickly. Maybe I'll swap over to camera C. So you guys can see what I'm doing on the interior here. So I'm gonna bring my finger down, and I'm gonna start angling my finger ever so slightly, almost like a little claw. Right? So here I am, I'm opening this up right on this bottom edge. We got a little bit of a bad undulation there. But you know, that's totally within tolerance, right? You don't need to get it like perfect on center every time. You can get it close, and then while you're pulling, you can recenter everything realistically. Right? And so again, I'm trying to just get a lot of this clay off the bottom here. I probably could have gone a little bit deeper on the initial hole that I made. But I'm slowly just taking this out to the edge here. Right? And I'm getting that thickness sort of dialed in. Sometimes I'll put a little spiral in the base there, right? You can see that spiral maybe. And then I round over this edge, and I bring this down. Seems like I got a couple people commenting. I'll see what they gotta saying I gotta get back to it. I don't want to be here for too long today. Oh,
echo on my voice, have mercy. We have feedback on camera C audio.
No
No
way.
way.
Sorry, guys. Oh, that must have sounded terrible. That must have sounded so terrible. I'm not trolling, I'm sorry. Oh, that's so funny. Well, I don't know, for those who were here a couple days ago, right? That's so funny. Yeah, I was here a couple days ago, and so what was happening is I had to find like unique ways to use microphones that I don't normally use, right? And so when I was in camera C, I think that other day, I was trying to grab the audio microphone from that scene and then bring it to another scene. And so then I haven't been using the head cam in the past couple days, so I haven't really found it out until just now. So sorry about that. Oh, that must have sounded terrible. Oh my gosh. Yo, y'all are some real legends for sticking through that though. Oh, it's so funny. I apologize. You know, I could have heard that, but I don't want the feedback coming through my audio here, so I mute the Instagram. Then it would have happened like it would have been like some like infinity sound loop or something if it would have. You guys heard the echo and I heard the echo of the echo, which then started playing as the echo. What the heck? That's a lot of echo. Alright, again, we're down at the bottom here. And I feel like it's even more funny because when you guys like the music that I'm listening to is like so peaceful, right? It's like I'm listening. This playlist is called like death is about to beat you in chess and put you in checkmate. Checkmate. That's, oh my gosh. How did I forget that? But anyway, that's the name of the playlist. So it's really peaceful and suspenseful and calm. I feel like I'm at a ballet or something, right? And then you guys are just hearing anarchy. So to find that bump down at the bottom, and then we loosen up ever so slightly, and then we're gonna catch that back on that top rim there. And so now we got a really nice even wall there. Slight taper towards the top, obviously, but other than that, feeling pretty good. I really think I should fix the. I need to get a monitor over here. Like, I think that's my next biggest goal. Just that way I can just keep talking. I don't have to stand up because I think some of you had something to say, but I'll just do it quick. It kind of vibe, but slightly hellish. Oh, interesting. Definitely hellish. So funny. Okay. That's interesting that it was a vibe. I forget. So when I go back to listen to it, when I edit tonight, I'll be able to hear it. So I'll listen to it then. But again, we get this little bump. I spread my pinky out ever so slightly. Nice. Okay. Right down to the bottom here. Push this edge down. And pull this edge out. We got a lot of clay here. Dang. This feels like more than normal, actually. I wonder if I wedged them too much. Maybe there was supposed to be 4 instead of 3. Breathe. Get it up to the right. I gotta catch that one. There we go. A little water. So we're going to do them in sections rather than all at once. that made the twist look a little bit neater. I don't know. Either way, we're gonna keep on cruising. Camera B. Maybe I'll swap over actually to camera C, so you guys can see the inside. I feel like this was the original purpose for the head camera, was so that as I was doing these sort of videos, that you guys would be able to see what's it's looking like from my view, right? So I think there's some things in pottery videos that you don't get to see that you do get to see from the head camera, right? I guess maybe seeing them all at the same time would be more interesting, right? But maybe that's too much visually, I feel like. I think it makes more sense if I control when you guys see certain angles of the pot, so then I can focus what I'm talking about. But I guess from a learner's perspective, it'd probably be nice to just hear everything or see everything all at once, so you can kind of pick and choose. Maybe I'll keep that in mind for when I finish my trees project. I'll make a series of like tutorial videos on YouTube. They're really geared towards giving people the view of making the pots. So then some people who are more like visual learners can learn through just finding the part that they're struggling with, and they can sort of see my process in a my first person point of view kind of way. So we'll see. Curl that up ever so slightly right on this edge. Bring that over, kind of like that. And this one, we're gonna kind of swoop it up over. Have it hang out on this ledge here. Great. Again, we're going right up the side of the pot. Have it hang out right on that ledge and let it just stick there. Sweet. And maybe on this one, we go more of like a total coil that we just tack on this edge. Right? Look at that. Really creating some variety with our twists that we normally don't do. I think when you have one that's kind of simple on the top, and even on the twist, you know, there's not too much craziness going on, maybe have that exist on the bottom there. Camera B. Camera B. So this way you guys can see that. I'll let you guys see that while I look over here at the chat. Curse me, I'm late. I was doing chores. That would be a lovely thing to do. Ha ha ha. Bro. So funny. Cool. I feel like I missed doing chores when I was younger. I didn't have too many anyway, but I think my favorite is as I got older, I got my family put some faith in me to get on the riding lawnmower, and I actually thought that was kind of epic. I don't know, I felt cool when I was on the riding lawnmower. Camera C. So we got our other chunk. We'll set that one there for now. I always thought it was like when I was really little, my dad, he would take me on the back of the riding mower, and I'd just sit with him as he was, you know, mowing the lawn, and so I'd sit there just chilling out like little Noah, just chilling, right? And then after we'd be done, he'd be like, yo, like, let's like ride on the road. So we'd be on the road driving up and down this road on the the riding lawnmower. I thought that was really funny. So maybe it's just like when I did the chores, maybe it kind of had some good energy or good memories attached to it. But anyway, so it's coming down here. I see you said something, so I'll look what you said there quick. I guess you didn't see the comment someone sent. Oh, somebody probably said something inappropriate, I'm guessing. He's blind, no worries. I would have to pay once to be broke. Please tell me you see the other guy. I don't really see. I feel like it must mute. Are people saying inappropriate stuff? That just isn't gonna happen. I mean, it's the internet and I'm making stuff on the wheel, right? All right, camera B. Camera B. There we go. Okay. So I'm just trying to splay this out on this edge here. And I have my hand right underneath, and I'm slowly pushing this forward. And I'm taking this up very slowly. There we go. So we got one, and then we're going to go for the second one. And we're just going to make sure that we're not going to rip the clay, right? Some water. Slowly bring that down. And I could feel a little bit of a rip in this middle section there, right? Hammer fist coming down on top. Sweet. Okay, fist coming down. And then slowly bringing that out towards your palm here. And remember that palm is glued right to that base there. If you lit off, it's going to sneak some of that uncentered clay right in between your hand and the clay there. So you really want to make sure you're using your hand as a profile tool at this point to just rip open that clay into your palm so you can just push it on center. Sometimes if it's not working right away, push it back in just a little bit and you'll see almost like a mini volcano pop up. At that point you just start from that middle point again and very slowly just bring that out. And I felt like you guys can feel my bad is almost feels like it's not like perfectly centered, you know? And so it's like clacking around a little bit. Okay, thumbs right in this middle part. Also my music seems like it's off. Maybe it's just like the beginning or the ending of a song. But again, we'll swap over to camera C. Camera C. Great. So now you guys can see the inside here. Again, pushing slowly, and I can already tell it's a little bit off-center, right? So I'm going to take this wall and I'm going to bring this wall down. It didn't help me out too much, right? So I already feel like this bottom's going to be a little bit off-center, but we're going to try our best to recenter that edge there. I think that kind of worked. And then use our fingers as a cutting tool right around that edge. And there you go, you open that up there, right? Then we're just going to try to smooth. We're actually going to smooth inward first and see if we can get some of that chunky clay that was sort of causing the off-centered part off of the pot, and then we'll bring that middle edge back into the wall there. And then camera B, sweet. Curling this edge over, bring my hand underneath, slowly picking this up. Sweet. Okay. Hand right on the bottom. Knuckle right on this bottom edge there. Slowly pushing that in. Sweet. Look at that. Okay. Taking our hand on the bottom again. Again, defining that little bump on that edge. Two fingers right in that little bump there. And then as we're getting to the top, I noticed that it was a little bit thicker last time, so I'm going to thin that out, have some more pressure on the top than what we would normally do, right? And again, defining that little bump and just going right up the side of the pot like a snail, right? Okay, again, right to this bottom edge, finger down. I feel like the throwing lines there are really, really tight. And I thinned it out probably a little bit too much. So I think I should collar it realistically. But you know what? I don't usually keep them this wide, and there's kind of a nice taper, and I think the thickness is good. Let's not try to complicate the form anymore. We still have one more pot, so if this doesn't turn out, who cares, you know? We got another one cooking up right afterwards. So let's try to do something a little interesting here and see what we get. Okay. Get all that water out of that inside. Finger right on this bottom edge. I'm going to slowly. I'll slow it down. So I want to just make sure I'm taking these edges in. So we're pinching it a little bit too much on one side. But maybe it will work out. We'll see in a second, right? And then, you know, we're going to force the collapse to be in the middle part here, so we're going to take some water, and we're going to force the collapse to be in this middle. Force the collapse. And so that's all I'm doing, is trying to stretch out that bottom of those little grooves just a little bit more. And even then, you know, we may even try to do a little forcing the twist early by just holding those edges. Okay. And then going out on the wide part here to finish that off. And maybe we went a little bit too wide. Okay, so actually, it's kind of cool, but maybe we leave it. There's something cool about this one, actually. Okay. We're going to work on this bottom edge here. I'll show you guys the inside. Camera C. Camera C. So you guys can see the interior a little bit. There's a strong shadow. But in actuality, this one could probably look cool with one of my ceramic flowers. Could have that set on the inside there. Again, I'm just never going to use this bat again. I feel like it's just like warped on one side a little bit more. Okay. Pushing this out. You guys can kind of see what I'm doing here with my hands. Okay. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice. Okay. Bring these up. And you know, we're just going to be very delicate with these. We don't want anything too crazy on the bottoms, but we do want to have representation of floral aspects. Alright, this has got to chill out a little bit. It's just a tad too loud. Seems like your clay is just pre-centered for you. I always struggled not to get it wobbly. I tried making it tall today. It just broke. The clay just ripped off halfway, and I was like, no. It looks great. Sorry to keep yapping, even when you can't see the chat. No, like, don't think of it like that. You know what I mean? Like, also I see the other thing. Can we get a camera C when polling? For sure, I can do that. But yeah, don't, you know, yeah, really, my next thing I'm going to do, you know, is get this sort of chat thing figured out so I can interact with you guys who are watching a little bit easier. So don't, I'll get to what you have to say, you know, just in between things, right? But I'll get that thing figured out. I hope I can get it figured out maybe this week or next week. I think I just need to, I'm just going to get a new monitor for my other computer, and then I'll use that monitor down here, and I just need to run a cord because I have 2 output ports for like monitors on my graphics card, so I think it'll be totally chill. But in the meantime, I'm just curling these up here so you guys can kind of see like how it's going on and how I'm twisting it. Right, I'm allowing the twist, you know, it's always, I say the same thing with handles, the less you touch the objects, the better they usually turn out here, right? The objects, the tendrils. Push these in, look at that, great. Okay, we got one that we could probably do, maybe this one too. Okay, this one looks pretty cool. This one kind of, it doesn't feel like a lot of the other ones, so I think that's why I kind of like this one, right? I feel like some of the other ones are getting into like a pattern where this one feels like it's breaking the pattern, but there's a fissure right on the side. Camera B. Camera B. So you guys maybe can see that fissure on this side. Interesting. So this one will probably split. We'll see what happens, or maybe it will collapse. It's pretty thin in that middle part, so I'm not surprised that it's kind of breaking off there. Camera C. Camera C. Yeah, so 2 things I got to do is I got to get camera C when polling, and then you said that you're having, like the clay is just pre-centered. Okay, I'll talk to you about how I center. I think really, I don't know what how experienced you are. So forgive me if you know some of the things I'm about to say. But I will say, like, I have some fun little tips that I do when I'm like on that bottom edge, right? And I would say, like, after your day throwing, do you feel like your arm is tired, right? If the answer is yes, I feel like you're engaging some parts of your body. You don't need to necessarily engage, right? And so what I mean by that is a lot of times people will be flexing their arms, right? And they'll be so tight and they'll be shaking their hands, right? But do you see what's happening to my elbows? They're not locked down, right? The purpose is to lock those down, either in your body or somewhere else, and then use your body as sort of a resist to the clay being off-centered, right? I also see a lot of people when they start the wheel, they don't even try to get it really that centered before they even start. I'm not even doing a great job, but again, you'll look at some of the Japanese potters on like Instagram or YouTube, and like they're like patting the clay like completely centered before they even start throwing. It's like, okay, like that's kind of interesting. Like they don't, why expunge that effort, right, and all that force when you don't necessarily need to, right? So it's just different processes. So do you see how I'm sort of like peeling this down? And I'll go to camera B. Oh, I feel like my battery thing is gonna fall. That's gonna be unfortunate. Camera B. Camera B. There we go. So you can see how it's still in like this mound shape, right? And when I set my hands on it, my hands are not getting bumped around that much, right? Some people will be on that clay and it's already like boom, 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 right? It's already like that. And sometimes too, it can also be a problem with how hard or how soft your clay is, right? Sometimes if your clay is way too soft, and when I tell you to put your body weight into it, you're actually using way too much of your weight, and it's just pushing it over, and it will look like almost like a soft served ice cream, right? And so that's kind of what you don't want. You don't want that soft serve ice cream. But as I'm pushing this up, right, I'm using my elbow being locked in, right, to sort of push that clay upwards, right? And again, like you see how it's not perfectly centered. You don't even need to go all the way to the top like what I was doing before. Even if you can get something like this, right, and just almost relax onto that top of the clay there as if you were sitting on the couch, and then you sink into the couch, right? And so that's kind of my mentality for coning that down. And when you get to about here, you don't want to cone it down too flat or else it's going to be hard to get up, right? So then I just take an edge, right? Do you see I'm just bringing that edge down, right? And then all of a sudden I created a little bit of a mound. So then when I go back underneath here and I grab that clay, I'm not creating a big hole on the interior here. It's still flat. You don't want to trap like clay in there, right? And so I'm always imagining, I'm not trying to push it towards center. It's always one hand's moving past and the other one's moving towards almost. And it's just that going between the two, right? And imagine like you cut this clay into like 3/3, right? Or yeah, thirds. There you go. You're having your hands in the two exterior thirds. You're never crossing through that middle third, if that makes sense. Again, I'm right to this bottom edge. Nice. Get to the top. Slowly slow down. There you go. Right? We'll tip that over. Right? That's all for theatrics. You don't need to do that. I just like to embed some moments as I'm throwing that I think are pretty cool, I think those are one of those moments that I think I look forward to in the pots, right? I feel like it would line up with music in one of my edited pottery videos, the music ones, like perfectly one day, So I just do them occasionally, and if one like really like stands out, maybe I'll try to make a music video or pottery music edit, whatever, Again, I'm pushing down. Oh yeah, I'll swap to camera C from here on out. So camera C. Camera C. I hope that helped with your question on centering though. Maybe that helped. Yes. Oh, that hole might be my problem. Yeah, you don't want to trap the, sometimes if you go too flat, it's going to be bad for you. So, totally. Yeah, no, I understand. That can be a problem when you do that. When you trap that clay on the interior there, and then all of a sudden you like go to cut through your clay, chances are you weren't centering it perfectly, right? And then all of a sudden your fingers go down and they hit almost like a cavern, right? Imagine you're like playing Minecraft and you find like a little cave system or something, right? Because you're digging straight down. That's kind of what it feels like, and then you're totally off. And then I always think you trap some air in the walls, and then you go to throw, or some of that liquid clay, and you go to throw, and then all of a sudden your fingers just slide right through the wall. Anyway, I'm down in this middle part here. I know it's hard to see the interior. One day I think that's another thing I need to do is get an overhead light over here. I think that'd be kind of cool. And I think I could turn off all my other space lights to give me like nice lighting here. I could turn all those off and just have one overhead spotlight. I think those videos would be like crazy. And imagine I playing some like classical music or something. I just think it'd be nuts. Okay, anyway. So hand right on this bottom edge. Slowly coming up. Slowly coming up. Right? I'm opening that up. And so you see how the lom is just biting right on this edge here? It's not pinching very hard, and I'm just bringing that inward to create this volcano shape, right? Anyway, I'm noticing that my my water bucket is more like clay rather than like water. So I'm just going to give it a little refill quick so I have more water to work with here. And so that's why I always keep like a little reclaim bucket right next to me, because I just use that top water to throw with. Okay, anyway, right down to this edge. Knuckle on that bottom, slowly pushing in. Loosening up that pressure as I get a thinner spot. You'll feel it, right? The clay's talking to you. You just gotta listen to it, right? Again, a little bit of water right on the interior there. Knuckle right on this bottom edge. As we get to the top, slow down just a little bit, right? Okay. Let's see if we got this nice music here. Alright guys, just feel the vibe right now. Sometimes when you're throwing, you'll start to feel this vibe overcome the space. Acknowledge it, right? And then I just start working. And all of a sudden it doesn't feel like you're throwing or you're doing anything. It almost feels like you're just dancing with the clay, right? And I think these sort of moments are some of my favorite. When I'm on the wheel, at least. Fingers pushing out. 2 fingers. I get this little bump. Slide wheel down ever so slightly, right? And I see a little bit of a bump on that bottom. And look, so it's not perfectly centered there, right? Still continuing that clay. Slow it down, you see that buckle on that bottom, just wanting to... Oh no. Let's see if we can fix it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, I think we fixed it. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that up. Okay. So weird looking. Okay. I think I could work on this top edge just a little bit more. Okay, so we got it defined. Now let's just give it some intention with some lines. I'm not really liking it, to be honest, guys. I think we gotta do another. I feel like the vibe wasn't right on this one. Okay, we'll cut it open. I'll give you guys another good one. This was still a fun little experiment, right? It was like a really quick twist, right? You guys can even see what happened. So it twisted very much right on this bottom. So the thickness was kind of too crazy. And then I just got way too thin right at the base. But I tried to fix the walls, but you can see it's still too thin right here. And then got too thick. And so when I started trying to really push on this, it just creates a weakness spot there, right? But it's still kind of a cool thing to look. It almost looks like a goblet, right? Or a chalice, if you look at it this way, right? Kind of funny. All right, let's get that other chunk. And I got to start cruising on this one, guys, because I just increased my editing time by a little bit. Let's see what everybody's got to say. Energetic. Yeah. Peak vibes right now. Ah, yes, Panic Fix, the best of fixes. How the music sped up when you were trying to fix the focus. So funny. Kind of looks goofy, little goblet. I know, haha. I just said that. I don't know exactly what I said, but that's so funny. Yeah, I feel like I just gotta make another good one for you guys. I don't know. And like me, like I want to be like excited about the pots that I threw. You know, I don't want to be like, I feel like this one has nothing to offer, but I still set it in. There's some that don't speak very loudly, but I like their interactions with other pots, and so I accept those ones, right? But then there's some when you make them and you're just like, good experiment, but not this time, right? And so that's kind of what I think about too when I do that sort of stuff. You know, you got to have some level of, everything you make can't be a good object. I think that's like how you set your work up for like failure, right? You want there to be discourse in your work. I think that's really important to propel it forward. I think that's where people mostly, like, if you see people and they're making very similar things for years and years and years and years and years, I feel like they found the thing that works for them, and then they just sit without having that battle in their work, right? And so I think, like, you talk about different ways of like thinking in the art world, right? I would say that's kind of in my opinion, what I would like to be like a modern take on our generation's art, right? Is that we're trying to discover we were trying to discover something about life through the work, right? And that was like sort of what propelled the work forward, was those battles and that sense of discovery, right? I think that'd be really cool. But anyway, clear on the bottom. I'll go to camera B. Camera B. Hammer fist right on top. And that's one thing I always forget to do when I'm throwing, is I forget to breathe. So don't forget to breathe while you're throwing. It's important. Your fingers come right down on the middle. Open it up very slowly. The clay's pretty soft right now. Add some water in the pond. The tadpoles can't dry out. And I want you to scratch along that base, like scratching on a chalkboard, right? Right along that bottom. And find that edge. Cut through that clay. Get over to your edge here. Great. Maybe hide a little spiral on the interior of the pot that'll never be seen. And then we're going to close up the wall. The llama's biting on that rim, slowly bringing this volcano inward. Nice. Okay, hand on the bottom. Sponge, outside, knuckle. Meeting that bottom edge where that wall and the bottom, the floor meet. I'm slowly taking this clay upwards. Right to the top. Great. Okay, hands on this bottom edge. Slowly collar right along this bottom edge here. Okay. And get right to the bottom. This is an equalizing pole. And so we're really not trying to do a pole here. We're just trying to even out these walls. Because there's going to be channels. Our hand here. And you just want to cut through those channels instead of following them, right? When you follow them, you're just going to emphasize this curve, right? And you're going to have uneven thickness of your walls. First, define that thickness, right? That's sort of the goal here. Again, I'm going to be right towards this bottom edge. Cut off any clay that I feel like isn't working for me here. Go right up to the rim. Slowly bevel that inward. Right? I hope you guys can feel the tension of those poles through the atmosphere of the space. Like those moments right there, I think are just like some of my favorite when I'm working with the material here. Okay. I don't even think I want to mess with that bottom anymore. I was thinking about doing a collar, but I think I want to just heighten that pole that I did. I mean, look at those throwing lines there. Like that feels like it's screaming confidence, right? First thing I want to do though is I'm going to go wider than what I would normally go on this rim to begin with here. Alright, let's see how this works. Maybe this won't work at all. We're going to try the inverse this time. Okay. I'm going to level these out here. Okay. Sweet. The one hand collapse there. Maybe that gives it more of a taper. I don't know. You guys will have to let me know how that looked from your guys' point of view. I haven't done one like that. It's kind of almost like this one-handed collapse. But this one's definitely cool. I like this one way more than I like that other one. So sometimes you just gotta, you know, everything you do, like if you're making and you're really trying to say something with your work, I think everything you do should be to the preferment of the objects you're making, right? And I feel like the more time that you can do where you're trying to highlight something on your object and make sure they're like they feel right to you, I think the better or the more value the work will have to you later on, right? And I think when you have something that you hold and that you value so much, people can also feel that energy that's being conveyed through the work that you're making, right? And I think that can also be done through any sort of art form and a lot of just more practical ways of life and stuff. So Anyway, sorry I'm getting a little life preachy. So funny. Bring this over here. Bring this across. Nice. Okay. You know, realistically, I don't know if I should have done this on these ones, but we're gonna do something different. Instead of going over, we're gonna go across on these tendrils, or instead of going up, I mean. There you go. That looks pretty good, y'all. Done right to the bottom. I'll show you camera C. Camera C. So it almost has this crazy like double bump that's happening in its space between there. Kind of cool. Anyway, we'll have this one front and center. I kind of like how this one turned out. That might be the best of the day. Hold on. I'll hold my words until we get to that stage. In the meantime, I'll see what you guys are saying over here. Nasty, bro. Get that out of here. What? Oh, the interior of it? That's so funny. I see what you mean. Somebody said energetic. Somebody said, yee. Thank you. But yeah. Alrighty. Yeah, we're gonna get this one. Sweet. Push this over here. I'm gonna show you guys the two little rips that are happening there. It hasn't fully ripped or collapsed yet, but I guarantee it's gonna be like one of those pots when I come in to check on it, you know, in the morning or something. It's gonna be like totally destroyed. But I just want to get this a little bit more over to the side here. I want to get this one a little bit more out on the edge there. Nice. So now I have enough room for the pot in the back. Be chilling out right here. And I think it's a little bit too tall, so I'm going to have to keep it down. But, alright, camera A. Camera A. Look at that, sweet. I said like sweet in the past like couple paragraphs that I've said. It's just one of those days where you gotta say sweet. So now I can bring this in just a tad. Is that a little bit better? Maybe. I think so. We'll just go with that. Alright, y'all. I'm liking what I'm seeing here. We're gonna turn our green screen camera on. And we'll wrap it up here, guys. Okay. Green on. Hello, everybody. It's me. Today's pots, I don't know. If I'm looking at them, I'll start with this one. This is the last one I did. I actually think this one has, it's in the running for my favorite. There's something that was weird where I went about opening it up in a different way, where I made the top first, and then I made another little bump below it to twist, right? And so there was something interesting about that where I felt like there was some sleight of hand, visual sleight of hand that's going on in that pot. But anyway, here we have one that I had a lot of tendrils, and I think a lot of veins of the tree trunk there, and I have some tendrils on the bottom that I think look pretty good. And then if you can see, I have these two little rips, right? Like, I guess they're like right in this section here. And I just think that if they stay like that, it'd be like the coolest thing ever. Those things are called water fissures. So when you're too thin and use a lot of water, the water particles will get in between the clay and create these little fissures, right? And so I think that's kind of cool sometimes, especially there. It looks like it's being highlighted. Anyway, we got this one on the top, pretty basic, but I like the general form of it. The silhouette's nice. Maybe like a good, like, you know, average tree. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. All the best and strong mentality.